Have you ever felt like something was just off in a relationship or situation, but you couldn't quite explain why? You find yourself second-guessing everything, your choices, your worth, even your reality. It's subtle, almost invisible. That's the insidious power of manipulation. Manipulation doesn't break you outright, it bends you quietly, persistently, until you can barely recognize yourself. And the hardest part, it happens to almost everyone in ways both big and small. Today, we'll uncover the psychological and emotional effects of manipulation. We'll explore how it works, how it feels, and most importantly, how to break free. Think of this as a guide, not just to understand manipulation, but to reclaim your power. Let's begin with a story. Picture a puppeteer. They don't jerk the strings forcefully. Instead, they pull them gently, rhythmically, so the puppet moves naturally, almost willingly. That's manipulation. It's not a hammer, but a scalpel. Robert Greene, in the 48 Laws of Power, describes manipulation as the art of soft control. It's subtle, often disguised as care or advice, but over time it corrodes something essential, your sense of self. Manipulation isn't just about influencing actions, it's about reshaping your thoughts. Here's how it manifests. 1. Self-doubt as a constant companion. Manipulators plant seeds of doubt. Are you sure that's the right choice, or you always overreact? Slowly you start questioning everything, your instincts, your emotions, even your memories. This is gaslighting, one of the most damaging manipulation tactics. Over time, it erodes your trust in yourself, making you dependent on the manipulator to define reality. 2. Emotional exhaustion. Think of your emotional energy like a battery. Each act of manipulation, whether it's guilt-tripping, stonewalling, or playing the victim, drains that battery. Eventually, you agree, apologize, or give in, just to make the discomfort stop. 3. Loss of autonomy. Manipulation strips you of agency. Decisions that should be yours feel murky, blurred by the manipulator's influence. Over time, you might even forget what you truly want. Manipulation rewrites your thoughts. It devastates your emotions. 1. Anxiety, walking on eggshells. You feel like you're in a minefield. One wrong step and it's chaos. This constant hypervigilance keeps you in a state of anxiety, always second-guessing your every move. 2. Guilt, the manipulator's favorite tool. Manipulators wield guilt like a weapon. They make you feel responsible for their happiness, problems, or failures. And guilt, as Greene says, is a subtle yet powerful lever that keeps you tied to them even when it's toxic. 3. Shame, the silent killer. The deeper the manipulation, the more it turns inward. You don't just feel bad about your actions, you start feeling flawed at your core. Why can't I stand up for myself? This shame isolates you, making it even harder to break free. Imagine a frog. It's resting in a pot of lukewarm water. The temperature is pleasant, maybe even comforting, but slowly, almost imperceptibly, the heat begins to rise. At first, the frog notices nothing. It's just a little warmer. Nothing to worry about. Over time, the warmth turns to heat. The frog feels a bit uncomfortable now, but it rationalizes. It's not too bad, I can manage. It's probably nothing. The water continues to heat, and the frog adjusts, telling itself, I've been in this for a while, I can handle a little more. By the time the water starts boiling, it's too late. The frog is exhausted from adapting, too drained to leap out of the pot. It never saw the danger for what it was until escape was no longer an option. This story illustrates how manipulation works. It doesn't start with overt control or cruelty. Instead, it begins subtly, like the lukewarm water. A small request here, a gentle correction there. At first, it might even feel comforting. They care about me enough to give advice, or they're just looking out for me. But over time, the heat rises. The manipulator's help turns into criticism, their concern into control. Their demands increase incrementally, just enough that you barely notice the change. You adapt to avoid conflict, to maintain peace. And before you know it, you're trapped in boiling water, too tired, too unsure of yourself to leap to safety. Why does manipulation leave such lasting scars? Because it robs you of something fundamental, your freedom. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Freedom is what we do with what is done to us." Manipulation takes that freedom away. It dictates your thoughts, feelings, and actions without your consent, leaving you trapped in an invisible cage. How do you escape manipulation and rebuild your sense of self? It's not easy, but it's possible. 1. Awareness. See the strings. The first step is recognizing manipulation. Notice the patterns. Do you always feel at fault after certain conversations? Are you constantly doubting yourself? Awareness shines a light on the invisible strings controlling you. 2. Boundaries. Build your fortress. Boundaries are your moat. Protect your inner world by saying, "That doesn't work for me." It's hard, especially with loved ones, but essential for your emotional safety. 3. Reconnect with yourself. Manipulation disconnects you from your desires and needs. Rebuild that connection. What do you want? Journaling, therapy, or conversations with trusted friends can help you find clarity. 4. Trust your intuition. Your intuition is a powerful guide. If something feels off, trust that instinct. Greene reminds us, emotions are your greatest strength when you learn to harness them. Manipulation thrives in silence and confusion, but once you recognize it, name it, and set boundaries, it begins to lose its grip. Remember, being manipulated doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. And humans are resilient. You can reclaim your mind, your emotions, and your freedom. It's not easy, but it's worth it. As Greene says, to master your emotions is to master your fate. So take that first step. Break the cycle. Master your emotions. Reclaim your freedom.